Atlanta has finished dead last in the United States in income inequality. It's unacceptable for the capital of the South.
It has a lot to do with race and a lot to do with initially when the MARTA Act was developed in the late 60s, our suburban counties chose not to support the regional transportation referendum because of their concerns about communities of color coming to their counties. And now we have this divide.
We do know that we have two Atlantas right now. And it's not like it's been two Atlantas recently. It's been two Atlantas for quite a while.
But at the same time, we all suffer as a result of it because we all sit in traffic. We all have access to bad air and bad water.
Underneath the trees, there are communities that are not doing well. There are children that are not going to school. There are people that are homeless. There are communities that are suffering.
There were policies that were put in place that encouraged a level of inequity that is consistently being translated through our built environment and through our transportation policies.
It is unacceptable for a city who has a legacy around civil rights and organizing that Atlanta has. This cannot continue. As the market continues to come back, as upper middle class people continue to move from the suburbs back into the city, we have to intervene at this moment to make change.
Benefits are happening for people that are living along the Beltline and people that are in the city of Atlanta. We're seeing an economic boom. We need to make sure that that boom has a balance to it, that it has equity, that we can, pivot some of that towards the areas that need it the most.
All things are not equal because people are not starting at the same place. When you talk about housing, we are disproportionately adversely affected.
Rental rates within the city of Atlanta are beyond the price of average citizens. The workforce here cannot afford to live in our city.
And if we don't do anything about it now, it's going to continue to fester.
Children and getting someplace in their life, being successful. It means my daughter has a chance out here. Equity means to my community development.
But we do want to make sure that we have development without displacement.
So that the very communities that we say we care about will live in this region 10, 15 years from now.
The way that business is done is people at the top coming together, making decisions, and not including the people whose lives are affected by the decisions that are made in the process of making those decisions.
We have to be intentional about setting the table so that those conversations about race, class, and politics really happen in an intentional way.
I listen to my son. He says, I'm frustrated, Dad.
And that we come up with solutions together because we can do this. It's not too hard for us.
The ability for people to be heard, to engage in the decision-making process, to actually allow their own values to be realized through public policy.
Black Lives Movement, when you sing downtown, polluted with people and signs, that's how you need to go to the city council. Instead of stopping traffic, go flood City Hall.
It is the people who hold the destiny of a community in its hands.
People whose literally lives are on the line, the quality of the people's lives are on the line, are included in these decision-making processes.
Just 2 years ago, the citizens of Clayton County voted to join MARTA. And since that time, they've seen a dramatic increase in their services and have told us very loudly that they really appreciate what we're doing.
We have the world's busiest airport in our county, but for years we did not have a way of connecting those people to get to the airport to get those jobs. We are getting more and more inquiries as to businesses wanting to relocate to move here in Clayton County. And one of the first questions they have asked is, do we have a transit system? I'm happy to say that today we do.
We've helped their economy, helped their environment, and created more opportunities for their citizens. We think the same thing will happen here in Atlanta. On November 8th, voters will have the opportunity to add a 1/2 cent sales tax to improve and expand MARTA services. We're thrilled to have the opportunity to go after new funding from Spark.
It gives us an opportunity to do a lot of things at once.
There's no doubt that ETOD touches on climate, touches on health, touches on racial equity. And what we have to do as an alliance is make sure that MARTA has the resources, ability, infrastructure, relationships, political cover, and strategies to do that in the best possible way. The Transformation Alliance is the network through which that happens. MARTA is going to partner with developers to build around many, many transit stations. And so if the Transformation Alliance can increase its capacity to support MARTA in that work through creative placemaking strategies, through housing and finance policy strategies, through energy equity strategies, then we're increasing the opportunity for people in Atlanta for their health to be better, for there to be better air quality in Atlanta, because more people are riding MARTA because they live closer to a MARTA station than getting in a car and polluting the environment. That's the kind of work that the Transformation Alliance is really trying to do.
They touch the people in ways that we can touch, but sometimes we can't touch as well, as often, and as quickly.
I'm a single parent with 3 teenagers, but the house is perfect for me. I don't have to actually struggle or try to figure out how I'm gonna do this. It fits in with my lifestyle according to my finances and me and my kids. They walk everywhere because everything's so close. You don't have to strive to live above your means to have something that's for you and your family. You don't have to. I'm not living above my means, but I'm comfortable, and this house is perfect. It's perfect for my family. I would think it would have been perfect for any of the families that was out there looking at it. Just so it happened, God gave it to me. I asked for it and it was given. And I'm truly grateful.
And the great thing about the nonprofits that we have in this city is that they are capable, they are of scale, and they have history.
MARTA is forging ahead in this ETOD movement, and the Transformation Alliance was largely created to support MARTA in those efforts.
How do we use capital to fill the gaps in ensuring the 20% affordability at all the MARTA stations?
How do we make sure that communities that don't have healthy food have access to healthy food right at the train stop?
How do we get photovoltaic panels, solar panels on all of 38 MARTA stations across the region?
What does the future of Atlanta look like, and how do we make sure that everyone in the region prospers?
I want to see us become one city.
A new set of conditions for prosperity and equity in communities that have been left behind.
With thoughtful growth, we can improve the community while preserving the way of life for those residents who built that community.